Hi, everybody. I'm Mindi Cook with Anywhere But Here Travel. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Colors of Provence celebration of wine, sailing, sip and sail with James, your wine guy king. I'm going to let James introduce himself, tell you a little bit about himself, and then we'll go from there.
Hello, everyone. I am James King. I love wine. I'm a professional wine drinker. No, the reality is I am a world traveler, and I've traveled around the world tasting different wines, and I'm excited to join you today, and more importantly, to host you on an amazing cruise, the Colors of Provence celebration of wine.
Okay. And we are very fortunate to have Marci new with us, who is my business development manager with AmaWaterways. Marci and I have been friends for many, many years. We've sailed together many times, and we're just excited to present you with this opportunity. So I'm going to kick it to Marci and let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Thanks, Mindi. And you forgot to say we've known each other a lot of years and had a lot of good wines together. So
that's true.
All over the world.
Don't tell everybody how much wine we've drank.
We are delighted at AmaWaterways to have James join us on board the vessel. We're very, very excited. He is a wealth of knowledge and fun for you to experience these several regions that we will be traveling along the Colors of Provence itinerary. So welcome today. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us this afternoon. It's always exciting to have a sip and sail and be able to take you on the journey of a lifetime. Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to get it to go.
Okay.
Hang on. Okay. There we go.
So the itinerary itself is along the Rhone River. The Rhone River is quite a masculine river. It's quite wide, has a little bit of industry, but really what it has is some incredible Roman history. And keeping in mind that this area on the river was never destroyed by war, so everything is preserved from, oh my goodness, many, many centuries ago. And we'll talk a little bit about each stop along the way. But one of the most important things is you're going to have the opportunity to join us ahead of time prior to the cruise itself. And we are going to start the itinerary in Barcelona. And this is a beautiful picture of you, James, out in one of those gorgeous areas there in the Rhone region, absolutely looks like. And so again, really excited to have you on board, and not only to learn and have you share all of your knowledge, but to experience these beautiful little cities and villages all along the river. So Barcelona, we're going to be on the beautiful Ama Cristina. The Ama Cristina has won many, many awards. The ship was named after our owner, Christine Karst, and the ship shows beautifully. It's well appointed. You've got a swimming pool on the top, so make sure you bring your bathing suit along on this trip, because you'll want to take a quick plunge and have a nice glass of wine at the swim up bar that's located on the top deck. Then let's start with what is included before we do our itinerary. Mindi, would you like to talk about some of these things?
Sure, absolutely. So with AmaWaterways, on an AmaWaterways river journey, you are on an elegantly appointed ship. I've been on many of these ships. Ama Cristina is absolutely beautiful. You will have a water view in every stateroom, whether it be a river view, which is a fixed window, a French balcony, or a suite. You will have a wonderful cruise manager. I'm so excited about our cruise manager, Nikki Drinkwater, Nikki Mars, very dear friend of Kirk and mine, and he will be our cruise manager on this trip. He is a somm himself, and so he's very knowledgeable about wine. And when we asked if he would join us, he was very excited to get to share the river with James and everybody that's going to be joining us. So on board, all of your meals are included, complimentary and unlimited wine, beer, and spirits with lunch and dinner. Every day, Ama has the sip and sail cocktail hour. That will be an hour before dinner. So complimentary open bar. We have a welcome cocktail reception, a welcome dinner, La Chaine Rôtisseur dinner, the captain's cocktail and the gala dinner. There is amazing entertainment on demand in all of the staterooms and suites with high-speed internet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marci, but last year, Ama spent more upgrading the internet than they did on fuel, correct?
Fuel for 23 ships. Yes, we spent a lot on the internet. A lot of our folks that join us still are running businesses at home, but most of all, we know everyone wants to keep in touch with family and friends, and this enables that to happen.
Yes, and we've got wonderful high-speed internet on board. So then you always have complimentary water in your stateroom, and also you have complimentary water every time you go out to do an excursion. Unlimited complimentary Wi-Fi on board, like we just mentioned. The tours, I'm so excited. You know, AmaWaterways has amazing excursions for you on board every day, up to 6 per day in each destination. And so you've got all sorts of things you can choose from. You can choose from hiking and biking and tastings, wine, chocolate, truffles, all sorts of things, depending on the region that we're in. And so that's all included. With some of the other vendors out there, that's an additional cost. And with Ama and Anywhere But Here Travel, that is all complimentary for you. And the tours are all going to be small groups. So you're never going to have to try and get close to the tour guide because you can't hear. You're going to have a quiet box. You're going to have a minimum of probably 5 in your group, a maximum of 15, don't you think? I mean, I don't know that I've ever been on one with more than 15. And it's just a wonderful experience. And all the guides are English speaking. So that is huge. You don't have to try and translate what they're saying while you're walking down the Seine. Gentle, regular, active, and late risers options. So if you want to sleep in one morning, but you want to do a tour, you can absolutely do that. Complimentary bicycles on board. This is huge. We have so many people who want to stay active, and Ama's got amazing bicycles on board. You will not see me on a bicycle. I am not, God did not create me for a bicycle. Just so you know. We have amazing, distinctive onboard programs, lectures. James will be doing some tastings on board. James will be doing some talks on board. So that's part of it. We bring in lovely local themed music, and we have a wonderful pianist on board for afternoon and evening piano music. The staff is completely English speaking, so no language barriers. And Kirk and I will be on board as well for this sailing.
Well, Mindi, I don't think you forgot anything.
Well, I've been doing it a while, Mars.
These are beautiful. Look at the beautiful photos that you see. And these are really true photos that you will see along the river's way, along as you're going on your excursions. You'll see the lavender fields. Very, very beautiful time that you're going because the lavender is in bloom. Yeah. So along with the lavender at this time of year, I don't know if you're aware, but they also have some sunflower fields. So you can imagine the landscape of color. It's a sea of color, and it actually looks just like this. It is breathtaking. And I'm excited that you all are going to be able to enjoy it.
Yes.
Mindi, you want to talk about this? And I'll talk a little bit about Barcelona, but why don't you go over pricing and then I'll talk a little bit about Barcelona.
Okay, so this is our pre and our post for Barcelona. We will start in Barcelona. We will end in Paris. The cruise actually goes from Arles to Lyon, but we will do 3 nights in Barcelona and 3 nights in Paris post. Every day you will have breakfast included at the hotel, your portage fees, your cruise manager. So Nikki will actually be with us in Barcelona. He will continue with the cruise into Paris and travel with us to Paris. So he'll be there the entire time. So it's a completely seamless transition. Barcelona is $1,170 per person, and Paris is $1,380 per person. I'm so excited though, because right now, if they will sign up in the next 2 weeks, we will offer them a complimentary land package. So they can choose Barcelona or Paris for their complimentary package. So also their transfers are included. So we will handle everything. We'll pick them up at the airport. We'll take them to the hotel in Barcelona. We'll take them from Barcelona to the ship. And we do that by train, do we not, Mars?
Yes, that's a TGV, a high-speed train.
The
It
high-speed
certainly
train.
is.
Yes. So then from the ship in Paris or in Lyon, we will move on up to Paris. And again, Nikki will transfer with us that whole time.
That's
So
the TGV.
yes. So
Absolutely.
then here's Avignon.
Let me tell you a little bit about Barcelona before we go right past Barcelona.
Okay.
It's one of the biggest metropolises on the Mediterranean. It was founded in the Roman, it actually was founded as a Roman city in the Middle Ages. It's one of Europe's principal and most important seaports. So a lot going on there, but the culinary experience there is also absolutely spectacular. Loads of history and medieval architecture. And I think one of the prettiest things in this city is going to be the University of Barcelona, and it was established in 1450. So lots of beautiful things there. And then Paris, Mindi, you can talk about, but we know Paris as the city of art, the city of cafes, the city of architecture. I mean, Paris is known for so many different things.
Yes.
And in many cases, the city of music. There's music all around us and lots of history in Paris as well. So two really neat options. And I think it's fantastic that the Paris or the Barcelona extension is totally complimentary. So
Yes.
we can go on. Okay.
So we start in Avignon.
And Avignon is known, this doesn't really show much of it, but we wanted to show this picture because it's so beautiful of the lavender fields, but it is known as the city of popes. In the 14th century, the popes defected from Italy because of corruption. They came right across the border, and they settled in Avignon. And then it was given the name as the City of Popes. It was the seat of the Catholic popes from 1309 to 1337. And it really allowed them freedom, but they built a city within a city. And this gives you lots and lots of history, but it also gives you lots and lots of beautiful Roman architecture from the 14th century. And believe it or not, it is still operating today. So they are using the amphitheaters for actual concerts of the local people. It is an absolutely beautiful city and a city within a city. It remained under Pope rule, this area, from the 1300s through the 1700s. So for a very long period of time, they were there and actually in rule. So they built and built and built. And the Roman history here is phenomenal. The other thing to remember is Avignon is in the southern part of France, which is known as the French Alps. So you have a mountainous region that is absolutely spectacular. Not only do you see the beautiful vineyards, because there are many wine regions you're going to travel through, and that matches to your culinary experience on board. But it truly is a beautiful mountainous region with lots of olive groves as well. So lots and lots to see in Avignon.
So, Marci, that's a great segue because Avignon is considered the capital of Rhone Valley wines. And we will be drinking the nectar of the popes.
Yes, you will. And in fact, this is one of my favorite regions, being the Côte de Rhône region, as you mentioned. Some of the finest wines I think I've ever drank, I drank in this region when we were on board. So that's the really fun and exciting part, is for everyone to note, is that your menu changes daily along with your wine. And it will be paired so that you get the whole culinary explosion of the region you are traveling. So very exciting there. And then we go from Avignon into Arles from Arles into Avignon into Tournai or Tarascon, France. And this is actually one of the wonderful, fun places that will be, you're going to see a lot of history here as well. And this, if I am not mistaken, might be Tourneau that we go on the steam ride or the
Yes.
steam train through the countryside. And I have to tell you, this was fascinating. You get on this old steam engine train, and I don't know, it maybe has 5 or 6 cars, maybe. And it takes you winding around the mountain through the countryside, and you end up at the top of this mountain, being able to look out over the whole valley, and it is breathtaking. And this is so old, and that's where the train track ends. So 2 gentlemen actually get off of the guys that are parking the train and the conductor, and they physically turn the train around to go back down the mountain. And they do it manually. So it's something really awesome to see. But a beautiful, beautiful opportunity there as well. Go ahead.
Just another picture of Tourneau.
Same thing, yeah. And then we go on to Vienne. And Vienne has amongst the richest repositories of Roman and medieval buildings still in existence. Remembering again that these rivers were never disturbed by war. So again, you've got the Roman history, the Roman artifacts, the Roman villages. Everything you can imagine is really in Vienne. And they have preserved it beautifully as it was back in the 1300s. So wonderful, wonderful place. And you see here also in this picture some of the old medieval architecture, but you also see the timbered homes. And one thing that I learned about timbered homes, one of the reasons they build them this way throughout Europe is because they were easy to take apart and move. And I find that most interesting because they're sitting on a foundation, but if you notice, their foundations are stores. And so the people who own the stores live at the stores or above. The reason that you see these types of buildings in Europe, and they are built very narrow and tall, is because you pay your taxes by the amount of land that your building sits on. So rather than pay more taxes and make them larger at the bottom, they build them up by stories. And some of you probably look at this and go, oh my gosh, what if you had to move and you had to move new furniture? I've seen this happen. They literally get a hoist out the window and they hoist it down and they put the new chair on it and they hoist it up through the window. So moving in Europe is a bit of a challenge, but beautiful for us to be able to see all the history.
This is a little off subject, but when we were in Amsterdam last time, we saw them moving a grand piano to like the 5th floor of a building.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, they wouldn't have moved my grand piano that way. Just saying. So anyway.
Go ahead.
So then we're in Lyon.
Yeah, now we're in Lyon, and Lyon is a wonderful city. You can actually, in Lyon, you go into the city through the original archway that was built there thousands of years ago. It's absolutely beautiful. Lyon is over 2,000 years old. So this city really brings to life a lot of different things, from architecture of the Romans to medieval architecture to some Gothic architecture, but beautiful, beautiful city. It's known as the one of the number one gastronomic cities in the world. Yes. And I do think it is number 1 in France for sure. It has the old Roman amphitheater. It's got the medieval Renaissance architecture, as we talked about. But this is also, one thing you find throughout Europe is everybody has a Notre Dame. Every city has a Notre Dame cathedral. We used to think we were really special when we got to see the Notre Dame cathedral in Paris. Every city has a Notre Dame cathedral. Lyon, no exception to that. It's the Basilica of Notre Dame, and it was built in the 19th century. And we get to visit. And James, I think this is a segue for you to talk about how we've changed wine regions going this way, because this is another one of my favorite ones.
So absolutely, as we go north from the southern Rhone to the northern Rhone, we're also changing varieties. So for example, when the first stop, we were more focused on Grenache. Mm-hmm. The second stop, we were more focused in Provence for rosés, which can be made from a variety of different grapes. And now that we're in Lyon, we're more focused on Syrah.
Yes.
And so this is an amazing trip. It's an
Mhm.
amazing trip, not just for the aesthetics and the ambiance, but also for the food and the wine.
Yes, it is. It's phenomenal. I think and it is. It's been rated some of the finest in the world. So you can't really go wrong. Now, the one thing I want to say is if you're not a foodie or a winey, as I say, no worries. We have lots of things for you to see and do along the way that vary completely different than that. So maybe your husband, your wife, your sister, your friend really wants to come along and do the culinary part of it and the gastronomy part of it, and you want to do the history. Trust me, everybody will have something to do. You will stay busy. You will see things that you have never thought you would see before in your life, because at AmaWaterways, we are known for the experience. That's what we strive to achieve for each and every guest, an experience that builds memories of a lifetime.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, this is you again, Beaujolais, Trevoux.
So here we go. Beaujolais, and the focus will be on the Gamay grape.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fruitful, very enjoyable, and even for someone who's a neophyte, it is, as it turns out, in terms of wine drinking, it's extremely enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. It is. But the really fun part is as you are doing your presentations on board as well, you really get to learn a lot about not only the grape itself or how they process it, but how each one requires a little bit different weather and a little bit different soil and how they change and they mature. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope everybody comes to join us to do this.
Well, the fortunate thing is there are opportunities where their entire ship can participate.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of where you are on your spectrum, on your wine journey, you can find parts of it that you will enjoy.
Right. Absolutely. Something for everyone. It goes back to something for everyone. Even I have to tell you, I have visited with many guests that have said, when I got on board, I'm just not a real wine person. That's just not something, and many of the men, that's just not something my wife enjoys it, but that's just not something I've really learned to enjoy. But when I got off of that ship, I had pictures of every bottle that we had. I came home and the first thing I did was went to the wine store to find the ones that I had because they were so good. And now I think I enjoy wine like I never did before. So it's a fun journey that way as well.
Absolutely.
So your dining options, this is very exciting on the vessel. We have a main dining area up here in the left-hand corner. That's the main dining room. You're looking from the captain's table straight back in the dining room. You can see that it is built panoramic, so you can see both sides of the river as you're having your dinner, making it very nice. You never have a time to miss anything. But what you're looking at in the center here is going to be what we call the wine room. And the wine rooms occupy, I think, the 10. I think we can occupy 10 in here, and we can, every once in a while we squeeze in another 1 or 2 people to make it even more fun. But the menu is the same. It's just a little more intimate setting. And you can invite all your new friends to join you in the wine room because it is not reserved. Anyone can be seated here. And I know for me, it's always fun to stand outside the door and just invite people I don't know. Come in and talk to me. Where are you from? What are you enjoying the most? And it makes it building new relationships, which is what life is all about. And then on the left-hand side in the lower corner, that is the beautiful chef's table. Because you are traveling with a group, you will already have a reservation confirmed in here, and we will deliver a beautiful custom invitation to your stateroom, letting you know when that will take place. This is a 9-course meal with pairings of the wines. And in this area as well, we have a coffee cafe. And so you can have cappuccinos, lattes, espressos. If you don't want wine, you don't ever have to have wine. You can learn about wine, but if you don't care to taste it, you never have to. So you've got the coffee cafe in here. This meal is prepared a la minute, or each plate is prepared at the moment per guest. And they're telling you all about the flavors, and they're telling you all about the culinary experience. So as they're matching the wines as well. So really some fantastic culinary experiences that you will have all throughout this region, on and off of the ship.
Yes.
So Marci, for clarification.
Sure.
Because some people that may be participating, listening to this presentation, they may have done ocean cruising and have never done river cruising. Can you speak to two things? One, the size of the ship in terms of number of passengers,
Right.
and the corresponding level of service associated with that. And then simultaneously, is the main dining room, is there one seating, two seatings? How does that work?
Okay, so the ship itself will have about 150 people on board. And that's at full capacity, full occupancy. And we have the dining room is large enough to hold everyone. So there's only one seating. For those ocean cruisers, I used to work on the oceans for 20 years. And they used to always wait for that second announcement to come. Okay, we need you to clear the table. We're just setting up for second seating. And they rush you in and rush you out. That is not the case at AmaWaterways. You can sit in this dining room and have wine with your new friends for 4 hours if you choose. And people do it. They laugh, they tell stories, they learn, they build new relationships. And that's what river cruising is all about. We have a 5-star rating at AmaWaterways, and it is something that we are very, very proud of. And that 5-star rating goes everywhere from the culinary experience to the way that the staterooms are beautifully appointed, all the way through our staff, as well as each and everything that you do on board. So our level of service is second to none. And then I'm sorry, did I forget something that we talked about the dining room? We talked about only 150 people on board. It's very intimate. Was there something?
I want to interject something. So one of the things I absolutely love about dining on AmaWaterways is dinner is an experience. It is not like you're going to McDonald's, Wendy's, someplace like that. This is not fast food. This is an experience. This is the event of the evening. We sit, we dine, we enjoy, we savor whole experience. And so it really is truly an event every evening.
It is. And you know what? We don't hurry. We do not hurry on the river. What you'll find is that you'll go out you'll have a beautiful breakfast in the morning. You'll go out for your excursion for the morning. You'll come back. We'll always have you back at the ship if you want to have lunch on the ship. Some people will choose to stay in the city or village maybe and try something very traditional at the city or village, but you always will be brought back to the ship to do your meals. And then you'll have lunch, and then you have a little bit of time to put your feet up for a few minutes, catch your breath, and then we get ready for the afternoon. And the afternoon might be sailing through a beautiful area, doing telling you what you're looking at, what you're seeing, what's been there. Might be a wine tasting, or it might be another city. We can go city to city on the rivers in just a few minutes, because that's how Europe was developed. It was about trading on the rivers, so it was always on the waterways. So it is absolutely an incredible experience. I think it will exceed your expectation at every turn.
Yes.
And what about if passengers would like to engage with the wine host? How is that facilitated?
Okay, so if you would like to engage with the wine host, James is going to be on board the whole time. And you just walk up to him and you say, "Sir, can we have you come over and sit with us and visit with us? And if you'd like to have dinner, you may do so." We do not do assigned seating in our dining room. You can sit anywhere you would like.
With anyone you want.
Different or exactly. And so you will have the option, because you are doing some classes on board, to answer their questions that they might have. But you also have the option of dining in a different table every evening if people want you to join them and tell them more about the wine experience. So they will be able to see you. You will be on board all the time with them, doing tours and all and involved in their daily routine that becomes routine on board the ship. So they just have to talk to you, James. That's all they have to do.
And I just wanted that to be known.
Yes, absolutely.
That I am available.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And wonderfully approachable. Don't hesitate to stop him and say, "Hey, just a minute. We tried this over here. Can you tell me what this is? Because we don't know, but we really like it." Or, "We tried that and that one wasn't our favorite. Tell us what that is so we don't do that one again." But absolutely always approachable, and will always be there to have wonderful conversations with you, to dine with you, and really to enjoy the trip with you.
Absolutely. And we're excited to have James as a host. It's an honor to have him as a host.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's mutual.
Well,
Cheers.
There you go. Here is the main lounge, which is where James will be doing his presentations, as well as we'll have a daily presentation with the cruise managers, giving you an update daily as to what's happening tomorrow. Did you sign up for your tours? Maybe what entertainment is coming tonight? The piano player plays in here. This is really a wonderfully warm gathering spot. This is a place where maybe you're tired, you don't want to go do a tour today. You just like to have a nice glass of wine or a good coffee and sit back and read a book. You'll see a lot of people. This is the gathering place, the main gathering place. So you'll know all about the lounge. It's right as you enter the ship, you'll see it. And seating for everyone. No one has to be left out. There's plenty of seating for everyone.
this is where they do the welcome reception.
Yep.
This is on the bottom left-hand side, you'll see an island. And what that island is, every morning they have late risers, pastries and juices and
Right.
fruits and things of that nature. In the afternoon, they have tapas and sandwiches.
Right.
And so you'll never go hungry. If you do,
Right.
it's your own fault because there's always food available.
Mhm.
Further back in the top picture, you can see a picture of the main bar. So this is where the main bar is on the ship. This is the heartbeat of the ship.
Yes, it is.
And just off of it, you cannot see it, but there is a library there on one side. On the other side, you have the gift shop,
Mhm.
which is not big, but it's lovely, beautiful, local, traditional
Mhm.
gifts that you can buy for your friends and loved ones. And then that is where the second coffee bar is for you to get your hot cocoa, your teas, your coffees, your cappuccinos.
24 hours a day on that, all complimentary.
Yes, yes. So the other thing I wanted to talk about just a minute while you were talking about the lounge and the daily meeting with the cruise manager. You do not have to pre-plan your excursions on an AmaWaterways river cruise because we always have space for everyone. So if you will get a list of the opportunities for the different excursions that you can pre-plan if you want. But when Nikki is explaining it the first day on the river, he'll be going through every excursion, telling you a little bit about each one. And you might say, oh, I was going to do this, but I think I want to do that. And remember, they're all complimentary. And all you need to do is tell Nikki or tell myself, and we'll get that changed for you. And you're welcome to go on any of the excursions you want. The only ones that really sometimes will fill out would be the culinary. And I've never seen them turn anybody away, actually.
No.
So yes, so the excursions are all going to be explained in this room, and you do not have to worry about pre-planning that.
Right.
So then I'm Mindy with Anywhere But Here Travel. Here is my contact information. If you have any more questions about the details of this trip, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can call me on the phone number. You can text me. You can send me an email. I am here to take care of all of those details. James is here to make sure you have a wonderful time and be a gracious host. And Marci is here to take care of the back end.
Yeah. Which is the fun part also. I love it.
Absolutely.
I've always said a great part of your vacation is the planning process, right? Because you get so excited about it. You can share the dreams, you can share, and then when they come true, oh my goodness, it's like, we did it. We did it.
Yes.
And I will say, Mindy, something very important for everyone to know is these ships are small.
Yes.
And they fill up very quickly. River cruising is the fastest growing vacation destination over the past 5 years. So please don't wait. Give us a call, give Mindy a call, email her, whatever it might be that is most convenient for you, because the ship is filling up and we don't want you to miss this opportunity.
No, we don't. We want everyone to be able to attend and participate.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
James, do you have any last thoughts?
Can I just talk about this wine that we're sharing?
Please.
Sure. Absolutely. Here, I can make my glass so you can see it. There we go. Whoops.
This is an example of a Southern Rhone wine.
Mhm.
It is a rosé. It is a combination of 60% Grenache and 40% Syrah. I just want to smell it real quick. Oh my God, it's bursting with aromas of strawberry, citrus,
Mhm.
spring flowers. Let me taste it. Oh, there's good acidity. It's full of fruit and has a very long finish.
Mhm.
I have
You
to
know,
say,
this would
I
be a
have,
good way to start the day.
Yeah.
yes,
And you can. We do some of our tastings quite early.
I have to say, I like it a little warmer than colder. When I first took it out of the chiller and started drinking it, I did not like it as much as I like it now that it's not nearly as chilled.
So what I would say to that is, unfortunately, a lot of times white and rosés are served too cold.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
so you don't get the full flavors, whether
Flavor.
it's on the nose or even on your tongue, on your palate. Um, and simultaneously, red wines are probably served too warm. But nonetheless, once
Right.
it's warmed up, whenever you get a glass of wine and you feel it's too cold, instead of holding it by the stem, hold it by the bowl
Okay.
and let your body heat
Yes.
interact. And
Yes.
then you taste it, then you smell it, and the experience will be a lot better.
Okay.
So in the case of this specific wine, I could drink it alone, but if I wanted to have food, probably a nice salad, maybe a nice salad from Provence. Oh, I think we're going there.
Hey, what a great idea.
So not trying to show off, but I just want to illustrate um, in a short period of time how your experience will be with me.
Yeah.
That you can ask me anything. There's only one dumb question. The dumb question is the one you don't ask.
You don't ask.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Are we
Okay.
drinking this wine on board? Is this going to be one of the ones we're
Absolutely.
going to be taking?
This will be one of the wines that we will have on board.
Okay.
It's lovely. It is
Yeah.
lovely. And once it has a little time to breathe, ooh, it's so good. It is so good. So I'm
Yes.
looking forward to everyone sharing all these beautiful wines.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't see it.
You can't really see it. It's got a reflection, but that's okay. They'll get to have it and then they can take a picture of it.
Absolutely. So
And then,
please, everyone who comes on board, look for me. Ask me
yes,
anything. Let's sit down. Let's share a glass of wine
yes.
or a bottle.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I'm sure that once everyone gets on board, there will be a gathering for all of you. You'll have a notice in your stateroom. So you can get together, you can meet Mindi and Kirk, and you can meet James. And so you know what's happening all week. And so you have familiar faces in case you were to need something from Mindi or help. And then with James, in case you want some more incredible knowledge, because he is a walking wine encyclopedia. So which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. And we are very excited to have him on board. So thanks so much, James, for your time today. Mindi, thank you for inviting me.
You bet.
And
Thank you for joining us.
absolutely. Thanks, everyone. We look forward to seeing you on board.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.